This is practice exercise 17. I'm going to do this one in C#. This is the dice problem. So we are given cubic dice with 6 faces, so a 6-sided die. Typical die that you would see in most games. All the individual faces have a number printed on them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The numbers are in the range of 1 to 6, like any ordinary die. You will be provided with a face of this cube. Your task is to guess the number on the opposite side of the cube. So there is something to keep in mind about 6-sided dice, and that is the value on one face and the value on the other face always add to 7. So if you see 1, the opposite side is 6, because 1 plus 6 is 7. If you see 2, the opposite side is 5. And if you see 3, the opposite side is 4. So that was done forever ago. I don't even know. But that's basically how 6-sided dice work, is each number, the opposite side, is the number that gets you to 7. So 1 and 6, 2 and 5, and 3 and 4. So for an example, if we see the number 2, we would expect the output to be 5. If we see the number 6, we would expect the output to be 1. There's a couple different ways to do this, but let's go ahead and get this set up in C# for you for the testing, and then you can explore those different ways. I'll start off by opening Visual Studio, and we'll create a new project. I will do this one as a class library, as we have been doing in most of these. So our class library, let's just call it Dice Problem. We'll create that. All right, so we're ready to go there. Let's go ahead and change this to the namespace declaration, and let's add a test project. So this is going to be, let's do in units, the one I've used least recently. So we'll go ahead and use in unit for this one. I'll call it acceptance tests, and we'll create. All right, let's rename. And so this will be dice problem tests. Won't need a setup, and let's make sure that everything is tabs. All right, there we go. So we'll start this one off with example 1, and let's head back to the MD file. So example 1, n is going to equal 2, and we expect it to be 5 as the output. So let's set that up. So we'll say var n equals 2, var expected output equals 5. And now from here, we're ready to actually create our dice problem, so the dice calculation. So let's create, we'll need a class. What is this class? This class, it basically represents a die with 6 sides. So I like that. Let's call it a die with 6 sides. So this would be die equals new die with 6 sides. And then we'll just say the value is die.get opposite side value, and we'll pass in n. So those seem like reasonable names to me. So we've got a die with 6 sides. We're going to say get the opposite side value of n, which is 2 in this case. And then finally, we will simply assert r, let's see. That value is equal. There we go. So assert that value is equal to the expected output. So that looks pretty straightforward. I like that. Let's go ahead and head back to the problem. We want example 2, which is given 6, we want 1. So let's copy our test. So this will be example 2, given 6, the expected output is 1. All right, that looks pretty good. We've got everything set up there. We're ready to actually create our class and our method. So we'll say die with 6 sides. We're going to create this class down in dice problem. So there's our, I'll just rename that class down there. Make sure that looks good. Yep, there we go. Let's reformat that. We also need an added dependency so we can pull that in. So from acceptance test, we'll right click, add project reference, select dice problem, make sure that's ready. And then finally, we can use our, add our using statement so we can import the type. So that's ready to go. Now we need get opposite side value. So let's go ahead and generate that method. We need to change this. So instead of it being a Boolean, this is going to return an int. We'll leave all the rest of that the same for now. And let's just return, I'm going to do, we can do 0 because there is no 0 on it. So we know that'll fail. All right, so that looks pretty good. Excellent. Everything is looking in good shape. Let's go and run the test and make sure everything looks good there. All right, so we get failures, and they are on the assertion. So it's failing on the assert that, which is fantastic. We do have a problem here. So we are ready to go. We're already set up. So we've got the 2 examples here in the test, and then we've got our class with die with 6 sides. Your goal now is to change this functionality to take whatever that value is and return the opposite side value. You can use the math way. You could use an if else. You could use a switch case. There's quite a few different ways to solve this problem. Explore that a little bit, and good luck.